I feel like with the off season,
everybody's just like bored,
Yeah.
like playing like No Limits in the
Yeah.
house, like, nerding out.
I'm over here like I'll just fly. So.
Damn, it's a big hold over there.
Alright guys, so today we're here at Icebreakers Construction Tour Update. A few friends here, but we're about to go behind the scenes and check out all the latest on what's new with Icebreakers.
Yeah.
Hey buddy, it's so weird. Now it works perfectly fine. But I'm getting ready to start up. I have to start. I'm going to the meeting, so. Oh, I don't know. I think he was off. That's like the top. I'm trying to think of like what it's like light and
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to do actual talk inside. Before we go on site, I just wanted to go over a couple of safety information. We are going onto an active construction site, so as you're walking around, just be aware of what's under you, what's around you, what's overhead. We cleared a path for you. We're just trying to make sure, stick to that path. We want to make sure that you're not going off on other spots. Look out for open ruts or things like that. It's not going to be a flat surface all the time. We're walking on some dirt and everything, and just look out for any kind of hazards. But if you have any questions on that, feel free to come talk to me. But we're going to leave you all in, and then we'll do a little talk, and then we'll break you up into two groups, and we'll go to see a couple areas up close. So we're going to take a walk.
So, like when they opened their thing, I mean, that might have been 20 at the most.
Yeah.
And that's people from 5 TV stations.
Right.
I might get in trouble for that.
No. Oh, you texted it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey all, come on, join us up on the station. We'll have a quick talk here and then we'll break up and get a little bit closer look here. You get plenty of time to take all the photos you want, and we'll talk a little bit about where we are in the construction process. So just collect here on the concrete, and we'll start here in just a second.
Oh yeah. Look at the media sexiness. Yeah. Woo! These are all the people that I aspired to be like my whole life, and now here I am doing the same thing they are. Crazy! Yes, I am.
You guys get nice and cozy, squeeze in, stay warm.
Body
Watch
heat.
yourself though.
How are you?
Ready? You're fine.
Just be careful. It's a little, it can be a little unstable depending on where you're standing.
Microphone.
Any broadcasts need to be patched in? Y'all okay on sound? We're loud. I think we're good. Everybody okay over there? All good? Okay. Welcome to Icebreaker Hard Hat Tour. How are ya? I ordered up some cold weather for you. I promise this is the last cold weather joke we'll make, but thank you very much for being here, for your patience. Just a couple of housekeeping items, and then I'm going to hand everything over to Brian and Joseph, who is going to really walk you through the attraction, and then he's going to get out there with you and show you the key elements of the ride. Couple things, please, if you weren't able to hear prior to coming in without the microphone, please be safe. That's very important to us, safety first. So please keep your hats on, your glasses on, your vests. Those of you who don't have vests, just sit tight. I'm bringing them to you. And watch your head. I know I saw one guy ding his head already coming up. So watch your head on the way down. The other thing is, this is what we're going to do. After Brian talks, we're going to divide you into two groups. And it's volunteer. Those of you who are going to capture assets here and want to walk around the site but do not feel like you need a stand-up one-on-one interview with Brian or Abe, who can do interviews in Spanish, you're welcome to go in the first wave. He'll escort you through. You can look at the attraction, and you'll be escorted out the gate for departure. Those of you who would like a stand-up interview or a little bit of extra time with Brian, we ask that you stay behind for the second group, and then we will do those at the conclusion of the tour. Okay? So I'm going to hand it over to Brian. Thank you very much. All right.
Hi there, everybody. Thank you again for coming. I'm Brian Andrelzik. I'm the VP of Design and Engineering here at SeaWorld, and we are really excited to have you out here on Icebreaker's construction site. So we have made a lot of progress, as you can see. There's a coaster that's appeared here in the last couple of months, and we're wrapping the construction up here for our spring 2020 opening. So what we wanted to do today was kind of point out some of the key features of the ride now that they're up and you can see them, and sort of talk about what we're doing here on site right now. So we're standing in the ride station. You guys are all in the loading area right now, so you'd be standing right behind those air gates as the train pulls in and you get ready to ride. We are wrapping up the station. As you can see, we have our electrical in place, and now we're working on lighting and paint, and just those finishing touches that are really going to bring this out and be looking great. So you can see the ride track behind me, but one of the key features of the ride that you might not really think about is this transfer track right here, our switch track. So this is a high-speed switch. It's a pretty unique feature from a roller coaster standpoint. So this is going to take you horizontal over onto our transfer track, and it's going to allow us to run 2 trains with a forwards and backwards launch. So once your train pulls out and you roll onto the launch track back here, you'll start out with a backwards launch, and that backwards launch is going up this way. It's going to head up the beyond vertical reverse spike, and that reverse spike is tilted at 100 degrees. That's beyond vertical, and that's the steepest drop on any coaster in Florida, so that's really exciting. So it's 4 launches, so this launch track is going to be busy. You're going to go backwards, backwards, and forwards once more, hitting 52 miles an hour. Now the exciting feature of this launch that makes it a little different than most is we have an airtime hill on either side. So there's one over here, and you can see this one low one over here. So each one of those hits on the launch is going to be a little more powerful as the airtime goes, finally culminating in a nice pop of airtime here as we crest up and over our top hat. That's an 80-foot tall element right there, and a near vertical drop off of it. So heading up in, you're going to get really great airtime in the front seat. Heading down off, you're going to get great airtime in the back seat. Now, once you get off of that element, you see all these low-to-the-ground airtime hills. There's lots of twists, turns, high-banked corners. You can see where the track ends right now. We're in the process of just wrapping up the concrete on the other side in our back house area, and we'll be wrapping up that track real soon here. And then our return run that comes down here, kind of weaving its way in between columns. It's a lot of really close kind of head chopper moments as you run through there and up into our brakes here. One of the cool features about this attraction is just how tight of a construction site it is. You can see this is the launch track right here, inches from the station. So as riders exit the attraction and go down our exit ramp right here, they're going to have a coaster within inches of them, shooting by, launching 4 times. It's going to be a really kind of cool feature, really interactive. Down here, we're going to walk a little bit later. You can see our pathway that's getting formed back up. This is the pathway that was here before the construction started. And this is going to take you right underneath of that beyond vertical reverse spike. So you're going to be able to see that from a whole new angle, look right up at people that are looking straight down at you, have a really, really fun time on the ride.
AKA sexy photos.
So what you see here is just part of the story, because the underground of all this area is a really big undertaking, and that's what takes a lot of the time during this construction process. So there's a lot of concrete underneath of these. You can see the various footers that are popping up. That's just part of the overall foundation, which could be as big as 12 by 12 for some of these individual footers, or even larger for others. And there's a lot of electrical involved. So this building right over here is our electrical room, and all of the electrical cabinets for the ride come out of there and feed all of the launch components. Each of these white spikes that you see out here, these white fins, those are called LSM launch stators. So those are what actually propel the train, the magnets that are on the train, to launch this ride back and forth. So it's a really heavy utility project. There's a lot of underground piping, there's a lot of electrical, there's a lot of pneumatic piping, and everything comes together to create this exciting ride. On the way in, you walk through our queue line, so that is the former dining area for the Mango Joe's restaurant, which we will have additional seating there, but we'll also have our queue space here. Our interactives talking about the Alaska Sea Life Center, our conservation partner for the ride, and the new entrance over here on the side. So part of the relaunched Wild Arctic Plaza will be home to Icebreaker here. So what we'll do now is we will go do our quick tours here. So we'll split up into 2 groups and look at a couple of different areas. We're going to go look at the launch, or at the spike. We're going to go look at the top hat and some of the low to the ground elements, so you can get an idea of scale and just how big the coaster track is. Because you might not get that idea from standing out here where we are. So we'll split into groups, and then we'll go down. We'll come back up for the second group, and then you feel free to ask any questions on that tour as we're going. All right, thank you.
So Brian did already get the question, where is the piece of track that we signed if we were here at the Icebreaker announcement in October? It's right over there to my left, and Brian is going to show you when you're walking around. So don't worry, you'll be able to see it a little bit closer too and see your signature on that ride. Okay, great.
All right, so the ones that are going to take group 1, we're going to go that way. Just follow me.
Group 1, if you want to step everybody?
We're just trying to split it up as much as we can. We can only talk so loud. So
I'm gonna grab group one.
Okay.
I'm gonna put that from that top.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Great.
I don't even know what.
Slammed my foot that way.
I saw you. She saw you.
It's interesting. I want to remember.
What's that saying? I would have put your name if I had known. Oh, thank you. Too bad.
But they're just going to cover it up anyway.
I have my Instagram still.
That's true.
Yeah, it just started. I have. I have my Instagram handle on it, but I put an at before the handle.
Put your Instagram
So-
handle.
I put my Instagram handle on it, but then it looks like a Twitter handle. So it's at that, but CEO.
So as a brief illustration of that, we did our pre-walker yesterday. We're all the way down there, but that's a lot of rebar. We're getting ready to put this pathway in place. So even tomorrow, we're going to see concrete here already as a sort of pathway from the bridge up to the Mango Joe's restaurant here at Wild Arctic Plaza. And we're going to put that back. We're going to have this open before the ride opens, actually in several weeks, so we can open that flow back up as we hear our 17th School Festival here in the park. So some of the key features around here, this is our locker building, right next to the ride entry here, and then the building right behind you here, the metal roof. This is actually the ride entrance. You can see the floorwork up for the entry into the ride. So this is where the queue and the quick queue will form up. And then if you want a good unobstructed drive of the spike, you can head around the corner here and just stand by the locker building. So that spike, like we said, it's a 93-foot tall, beyond vertical reverse spike. So that's 100 degrees. It's still beyond vertical. It's the steepest drop when it goes to the car. And you're going to go backwards up that. So you'll be facing straight onto the ground, waving it all through that way. It's going to be a really exciting element. You're going to go up that thing twice. So you'll start by walking backwards once, get about halfway up. Go a second time, almost up to the top half. And then go back up a third time, go up the hill again, all the way to the top. You can see those couple of white spikes up there. Those are brake fins. So you'll get right to the top of there before you head down a fourth time, get 52 miles an hour, and clear that top hat element up top. And then you'll head off for the rest of the ride. Once that gets clear, the second train is clear to go, and then slide over the ride site. We're excited about this pathway. We're going to all along the side here, so we can have enough folks who maybe aren't brave enough to tackle Icebreaker can have a seat on the seat wall here and watch everybody shoot over their heads. This will be a really cool interactive feature, I think.
Ryan, are the brake fins up there as a safety in case there's too much energy
They are,
and
yeah. So it's based on weather conditions, based on wind,
Right.
things like
Weight,
that. The
yeah.
launches are going to vary just
Right.
ever so slightly every time. So the ride is right just below those launch fins or
Right.
brake fins, and then if it needs to, if it heads up there, it just gives it a little extra stopping power that it needs. And Lori did mention the side column. You guys can kind of see it in between. If you look past the blue generator over there, you can see the vertical column right up here against our pathway. So everybody who comes through the park is going to see that signature. It's pretty exciting.
Has it been like coated so wash off the rain?
Yeah. So we have a clear coat over top of it. So it should hold up for a little while.
When you all signed it was starting.
Over time it will fade. But
Florida sun.
it'll hold up pretty well for a little while here. as it is at 90 feet, and the radius that it is, you can only go so far. So 100 is as far as you go, and it's it's got that slight pause, so you're going to have just a second before you can go back down. So it's you will go backwards up there. It's 2,750 feet.
How long will it
Once you get started, it'll probably be around 60 seconds from the beginning of the first launch up and over. The entire ride from station to station is probably a minute and a half to a minute and 45.
What's the expected hourly capacity if both trains are running? And
Yeah, no, with two trains, we'll have to determine that as we get through the loading
Okay.
process. But with the two trains and 18 passengers per vehicle, we'll be able to.
okay.
Yes, absolutely. So we're partnering with the Alaska Sea Life Center. And the Alaska Sea Life Center, the Ocean Facility in Alaska, specializes in rescue, rehab, education, and research. So we are going to have educational interactives throughout the entire queue line of the space. You'll be able to learn more about the Alaska Sea Life Center, understand their mission, and how it works with their mission. Yeah, I mean, on our major boats, we look at this as a mid-level family ride. So we call this a family thrill coaster. So it's accessible for the entire family. That's the main and well, they require. But at the same time, it's thrilling. But it's tough. I mean, it's a very tight construction site. I mean, you'll see that as you walk past these areas, that you have your maintenance area, your launch track, your return track, all within the span of about 30 feet. And as we go out, we get the loading ground. You've got a very tight construction site. Super challenging to build for one. You got to also start here at work before you can't get in once the ride's up. So that was the challenge itself. And working through that is always we're going to go ahead and move to the other side. All right, we're going to go ahead and move to the next spot. We're going to look at the top hat element. So if you just follow me, we're going to head up this way. Perfect. So for we're headed. Compact a little bit. Slowly move this way. Watch yourselves as you walk down over this.
So obviously SeaWorld has a great relationship with Premier, you know, all the Skyrocket 2s you guys have built, which are awesome coasters. So did they do a lot working with like perhaps you directly since given your role in designing this custom? Or?
Absolutely, and being that it's a similar train design to the other installations
Yeah.
we have, Electric Eel, Tigris, and Tempesto, you know, we can use a lot of that with our design team to really help speed the design process along.
Yeah.
We have those learnings from the other construction projects, so we know, you know, how to put things together and really smooth the process of coaster installation. So it's really helped us.
Makes sense. Nice.
Yeah, so this is the top hat. So it's a pretty common element on some coasters, but we're excited about the radius of this one over top. You're going to get fire time, you know, pushed out of your seat, that launch, that lift feeling in your stomach as you go up and over. So you'll hit that top speed just before you go up the top of that element, so 52 miles an hour. And then once you cross the top here, on the way up, you're going to get lifted out of your seat to the front seat, and then as you go over the edge here, you're going to get lifted out of your seat to the back seat. So it's going to be a really exciting moment. That's what a lot of coaster enthusiasts look for.
Is there a particular coaster manufacturer?
So Premier Rides.
It's Premier. I know. Judy Riddle with the TV.
Okay. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I try and get as many as I can. Yeah, deeply creative. Yeah, absolutely. So my team is here at the park. So I run the design and engineering department, who is now we're five members who take care of all the new construction projects here at Aquatica and at Discovery Cove.
Yeah.
So it's a great little group. We handle a lot of projects. Alright, so yeah, like you said, you're welcome to walk underneath, get some pictures from underneath. There's some really cool angles here. Some nice striking element, especially from across the lake. You're going to get this really cool view of both the reverse thing and the top hat here. One of the interesting features that I really didn't expect to put up the ride was how tight the clearances are for these support columns. So this return ride coming back, some of these supports seem awfully close. So that's going to be a really neat view. You're kind of put your hands down a little bit as you shoot through those. We're pretty excited for kind of those unexpected moments like that.
And
Okay. More than anything, this is just a cool view to really get a sense of scale about how big the roller coaster track is. You can also see just how close the outrun is to the return run over here. So it's a great place to get some pictures up against it, really understand just how big a coaster track is, and understand, you know, the forces behind these kind of rides. You know, you can look at all the size and the diameter of all these bolts and just how many there are. This is a really high force section of the ride coming off of the top hat there. So it's an engineering marvel.
I see you guys are, you've got a lot of the track out, but not quite all of it done yet. So what are you looking at? How many more weeks of construction before you guys start testing, do you think?
You know, we haven't estimated that at this point. I mean, we're still working through the rest of the construction process. So the way that we had to do this, which is a little less traditional, ideally you like to put in all the footers, build the ride up,
Right.
and get going. The challenge with the tight site here is that we have to start over there and kind of work our way back that way. So we started there, and we got our footers in place, and then when we moved over to here, we started putting the ride track up over there. And we moved down there, we started the ride track here. So it kind of followed each other as it goes down, and the utilities following after that. So we're wrapping up the final ride footers over here. We have a couple of real complicated ones that we're working through right now, and then as soon as those get put in place, you'll see the rest of the track go up very quickly. The nice thing about this track, especially as low to the ground as it is, you can put up a lot of ride pieces very fast. You can put up, multiple pieces in a day. So that's really good.
Great.
Where were these fabricated, and how long has it taken that process of just getting these pieces?
Great. So this was these came from the USA. So they came from Utah. The track did, and the columns came from Kansas. And we started fabricating those probably back in April time frame, and those started showing up here late last year. And we've had all the pieces on site here for a couple of months now. But it is a long process. You have to go so far out front, make sure you have everything here in time and in sequence. That's all.
What's your name?
Brian Andros.
How do you spell Andros?
It's ANZRELCCYK. Brian with an I.
All right, thanks,
Thank
Brandon.
you very much.
What are we gonna see? Are we gonna see anything landscaping wise? Standing on?
Yeah, so you'll see a pretty, simple landscape palette. I mean, theme-wise, we're in the Arctic, so you're going to see a lot of, multicolored gravel here within the ride-restricted area. You're also going to see some low grasses, just to kind of get that feeling of the Arctic.
Okay. You good?
Yep. All right.
Adam right here in the orange is going to escort you guys out. I'm going to take Brian back for his second group, but